It's Spider-Man pre-release weekend, and in this video, I'm going to be opening a lot of Spider-Man cards, trying to find those diamonds in the rough, or the Soul Stone, which is pretty much the main card that I want out of this set, except for one, which I will make a deck building video out of here very soon. But it got me thinking, is this Spider-Man set actually worth it? And moreover, I kind of want to talk about the price, because Magic is starting to get a little bit out of control. It should go unnoticed that 3 packs of collector's boosters is the same as 1 booster box. That is a lot for a set that may or may not produce a lot of greatness out of it. We'll see, and we'll see if it's worth it. We'll add it up at the end. So, for now, we're just going to rip into our box and go at it. We're going to be very careful cutting open the box. I also would like to kind of say, too, we already have our first pull, by the way, is Spider Sense came with the actual, with the box itself. So, this is our box topper kind of thing, so Spider Sense. So, cool card. It's got web slinging for 1 blue, and it counter targets instant spell, sorcery spell, or triggered ability. So, neat little card that I don't know if... I assume I'll be able to get more of them in the packs and stuff like that, but we'll find out. Don't forget, chat. Don't forget. There's a guaranteed foil in every pack. Alright. Let's break into the box here. Ugh. I love opening Magic the Gathering cards. I love it as a little treat. I think it's really fun. Here's some archetypes and things like that if you're drafting it, which I think, you know, a lot of people will be drafting this after a while. I also love the look and feel of the packs. I think they're fantastic. I think they're great. So, whoop. All right, let's jump in. Pack number 1. We got a robot token here. Suburban Sanctuary. Oscorp Research Team, Human Scientist. Rent is due. At the beginning of your end step, you may tap 2 untapped creatures and or treasures you control. If you do draw a card, otherwise sacrifice the enchantment. That's not bad. Scarlet Spider with Menace. When Scarlet Spider enters, you may discard a card. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on him. It also has Mayhem, which is a new piece from the set. That is, you may cast this card for your graveyard for 1 black or 1 red. And if you discarded it this turn, you may cast it. Take 2 on that one. That has Mayhem. You may cast this card from your graveyard for 1 black and 1 red if you discarded a card this turn. Timing rules still apply, obviously. We got Spider-Man Heroic Horde with web slinging. If it was web sling, you gain 3 life. You create 2 2/1 green spider creature tokens with reach. Not bad. Spider Bite, the Red Warden. Turn him to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. Mysterio's Phantasm with Flying and Vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks, mill a card. Spider Islanders. You get the Mayhem cost. That's 4/3 for 4. Venom, Evil Unleashed. It's got Death Touch, and for 2 generic and 1 black, exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains Death Touch until end of turn, and you get to activate it only as a sorcery. Very important. Another Oscorp Research Team. Kapow! I actually love cards like that. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It fights target creature an opponent controls. This is great for like my Wolverine deck, where it's all about targeting and getting rid of other creatures and stuff like that, using fighting mechanics and things. Daily Bugle Reporters. When this creature enters, choose 1. You get a puff piece. You put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. or you have true investigative journalism, which is what I did back in the day, kids. Return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. And Spider-Man Brooklyn Visionary with Web Slinging 2 generic and 1 broccoli. When it enters, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffled. Not bad. And Pumpkin Bombardment. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card or pay 2 generic. And Pumpkin Bombardment deals 3 damage to target creature. Not a bad pull. I'm assuming then okay, Rent is Due is my legendary. It's hard to kind of tell with the spider kind of things. That's okay. Pack numero dos. Throw all that off to the side. Spider token. Spider token, very important. Oh, the great, beautiful planes. I love these. They're fantastic. Web Up. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Radioactive Spider with Reach and Death Touch for 1/1. For 1 green mana. Fateful Bite. You pay 2, you sacrifice this creature, you search your library for a Spider Hero card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. Not bad. There's Penny, my favorite character to play in Marvel Rivals. Play +1/+1 counter on target creature. I get blue-white in this one is all about modified creatures and stuff like that, which kind of is like same as like Neon Kamigawa and some of the commander decks that were happening there, I think. So, Green Goblin Revenant, Flying Death Touch. Whenever Green Goblin attacks, discard a card, then draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. School Days, do homework, fight crime. I prefer fight crime. Bagel and Schmear. You share, you sacrifice this artifact, and put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. You draw a card, activate only as a sorcery. Or Nosh. You pay 2 and you tap it, you sacrifice it, you gain 3 life and draw a card. So it's a food token, essentially, with a little bit extra stuff. A Common Crook. I didn't see this in the lineup of the straight cards, so that's kind of nice. This creature dies, create a treasure token. It's actually really good for, this one's really good for aristocrat decks and things like that. Passenger Ferry, the vehicle. Whenever a vehicle attacks, you may pay a blue, and when you do, another target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. That's not bad. Taxi Driver is a human pilot. Okay. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Subway Train, you can pay 1 green mana. If you do, you search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. That's actually really not bad either. Spectacular Tactics, not bad. Professional Wrestler, ooh yeah. Sadly, they can't put Macho Man's character from the movie in here for licensing rights, obviously. But when this creature enters, create a treasure token. Not bad. This creature can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Also not bad. And then Web Up. Okay, so that's 2 packs where we've gotten doubles already. Huh. I don't know if I like it. Pack 3. And I don't know how I'm going to edit this video and stuff like that. This is the first one I've done kind of like this, but... Cool treasure token. What's on the back? Spider tokens on the back. Okay. Just a basic swamp in the style. Prowler. Clawed Thief with Menace. Another villain you control enters. Prowler connives. That's not bad. Urban Retreat. This is our green, white, blue mana. Our legendary land. Well, not legendary land, but our more important land. You return target type creature controlled to its hand. Put this card in your hand. Put this card from your hand on the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Not bad. Oh, and then we got Oscorp. This is going to go in my, probably my Obeka Grixis deck. Because it's got blue, black, and red. It also has Mayhem. I don't know why it would be in the graveyard, but hey, great. This lane enters tapped, and this lane enters from a graveyard, you lose 2 life. So, a lot of possibilities there. So, I've gotten all the lands I've wanted so far. And did I just get 3 rares in a row? I got 2 rares in a row. I got 2 rare lands in a row. So, there you go. Now we've got Rhino. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Whenever Rhino attacks, if you cast a spell with mana 4 or greater, you draw a card. Secret Identity. Okay, I want to get Arcade Post to sign this card, because there's another card that I'll try to put up on screen, but it really, he basically made this card look like that other card, and it's uncanny how well he got it and things like that. Plus, Arcade Post up here in the general area that I'm at, and so it's really fun to kind of run into him every once in a while at conventions. So, really nice guy. Sun Spider, Nimble Weber. During your turn, it's got flying, and when Sun Spider enters, search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, and put it in your hand and shuffle. I'm going to be honest that a lot of these cards are from comics of Spider-Man that I have not read, and so I'm learning a lot about certain Spider-Man cards and things like that as we go. Unstable Experiment. Target player draws a card, then one target creature you control connives. So connives is pretty big in this thing, I think. Masked Meower. I love it. Haste, discard a card, sacrifice this creature, draw a card. Love it. It's a cat. I love cats. Inner Demon Gangsters, Human Rogue Villain, discard a card. This creature gets +1/+0 and gains menace until end of turn. Okay, not too bad. Electro's Bolt, also really good. Deals 4 damage to target creature, and you can do it for Mayhem for less, which is great. Gallant Citizen, whenever this creature enters, draw a card. Mob Lookout, the villains, whenever this creature enters, target creature you control connives. Again, we get a big kind of thing. And Selfless Police Captain. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. When this creature leaves the battlefield, put its +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Not bad. So there are... how many packs of play boosters in here? How many? There's 30 packs of play boosters? 31? So that was 3. 6, 9. So I've opened 3. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Math. 21. Right? 21? Yeah. 21, 24, 27, 29. So there's 29 packs in here, right? 1, 2, 3. We'll cut this part. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yes. There are 30 packs in here. So 30 times 14. Do some quick math here. $30 times 14 is 420 cards. In theory, we should get all 180 so cards out of one box, if I've done the math right. Now, pull rates are very different, obviously, but with a set this small, who knows, we might. Treasure Human Citizen Token again. So, and see, this is what I'm talking about. We already have another Suburban Sanctuary. Oh, Beetle, though. Legacy Criminal is our foil. Morlun, Devourer of Spiders, Vampire Villain. Enters with X +1/+1 counters, and when it enters, he deals X damage to target opponent. That's going in a vampire deck. Web Warriors, when this creature enters, put a +1/+1 on each other creature you control. That's crazy. Hey, Spider-Man Noir. Menace, whenever a creature you control attacks alone, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then surveil X, where X is the number of counters on it. This works really, really well in my Sephiroth deck, where he generally attacks alone. Web Shooters, +1/+1 reach. Whenever it attacks, you tap target creature. One of those great ones. Mechanical Mobster, Human Robot Villain. When this creature enters, exile one target creature from a graveyard. Target creature you control connives. So we're continuing the thing. Venom's Hunger. The spell costs 2 if you cast if you control a villain. Destroy target creature. Not bad. You gain 2 life. Okay, this is the third pack that we've had where a foil and the same card comes in later. That really rubs me the wrong way. And I know that because it is a smaller set, it is a little harder to get away from in some ways, but it kind of cheapens the experience. Let's put it that way. Romantic Rendezvous, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. Spider Manifestation. This is one of the mana dorks that it's really, really good here. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, untap this creature. Starling. There's also a ton of legendary creatures in this deck. So, Scorpion Sting. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn, and another Galleon Citizen. So, all right, we might start burning through these real quick. I will say that one of the cards that I'm looking for is the Soulstone, obviously, but I want to make a deck around one of the Green Goblins, which is ironic because the Green Goblins are red and black. Treasure token, Spider token again, another Swamp. Scout the City, we've not done Mr. Negative. He's actually a really good one to be pulling if you want to do black and white in a draft. Vigilance and Lifelink, he's very expensive though. 7-drop kind of thing. But when he enters, you may exchange life totals with target opponent. If you lost life this way, you may draw that many cards. He's kind of one of those people that you want to play almost as a meme deck, I would say. So, Shocker, Unshakable. During your turn, Shocker has first strike, and when it enters, he deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to that creature's controller, which is great. Vulture. Whenever Vulture attacks, other villains you control gain flying until the end of turn. It obviously has flying. The Spider-Mobile. Whenever this creature attacks or blocks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each spider you control. So there's a spider thematic deck. Inner Demons Gangsters again. Amazing Acrobatics. You can counter target spell, or you tap 1 or 2 target creatures. Not bad for 3-drop. Stegron the Dinosaur Man. I have no idea where this guy comes from in the show or anything like that, but he's a dinosaur villain. Menace, and then for 1 generic and 1 red, you can discard this card until end of turn. Target creature you control gets +3/+1 and becomes a dinosaur in addition to its other types. I guess that kind of works in a dino deck, maybe, I don't know. Eerie Gravestone. When this artifact enters, draw a card. Sacrifice this artifact, you mill 4 cards. You may put a creature card from among them into your hand. So it's some recursion there. News Helicopter. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen creature token. Craven's Cats. Cat villain. This creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. For 2 generic and 1 green. Okay, is this the 4th pack that we've done this? Yeah, okay. 4th pack in a row. Scout the City twice. We have Thwip. What do you do? All right, so this is a theme that's happened now. We get the foil and the non-foil in the same pack. What the hell? Again, it feels like I'm getting cheaped out a little bit with that. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm thinking about it incorrectly or whatever like that. But it does feel like I'm getting a little cheaped out. Okay, treasure token again. Okay, now if I get a normal plains and the foil, then we have a problem. Spider-Man Webslinger we have 2 foils. Okay, so we have a land and we have Spider-Man Webslinger. Okay, we have our Mythic, Behold the Sinister Six. Return up to 6 target creature cards with different names from the graveyard to the battlefield. Really handy if you have a way to, like, late game this, so that's awesome. Electro, we're getting all the good villains. So now that's a Mythic. Now we've got a rare here. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end, and whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, add red mana. When Electro leaves the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, he deals X damage to target player. This is a menace in like VV decks and Spellslinger decks and things like that, and I might put it in one of those. Shriek, at the beginning of your first main phase, you may discard a card. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. And she's got Sonic Blast. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, Shriek deals 1 damage to that player. Robotics Mastery, Flash, enchant creature. Whenever this aura enters, create 2 1/1 colorless robot artifact tokens. Creature tokens with flying. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. It's kind of expensive for what it does, but it's not bad. Ezekiel, Spider Totem, reach, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, target spider you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Spider-Man No More, enchanted creature is a citizen with base power and toughness 1. It has defender and loses all other abilities. Oscorp Research Team, draw 2 cards. I think we've seen that one already. Mias Meower we've seen already. Swarm Bees! Flash, Flying, and Mayhem for 2/2 for 2 generic and 1 black, or Mayhem from there. We've seen Brooklyn Visionary, Skyward Spider, Spider Human Hero with Ward 2, and this creature has flying as long as it's modified. So again, back to that white-blue modification stuff. And we have Spider-Rex, because everything is Spider-Man. Reach, Trample, Ward 2 for a 6/6 for 6. So that one we did not get a second Spider-Man in there, so we have broken the streak apparently. Another Human Citizen token. Another Suburban Sanctuary. Another Spider-Man No More. Hey, we got Doc Ock. We have Doc Ock. So, we have another Mythic. Villains you control get +2/+2. Your maximum hand size is 8. At the beginning of your end step, if you have fewer than 8 cards in your hands, draw cards equal to the difference. Probably the second best commander in this set if you're going to make commander decks out of it. I love Doc Ock. I know a lot of people want to make a Spider-Man one. I'm not a big fan of any of the Spider-Man cards, but I am a big fan of Doc Ock and one of the Green Goblins. We'll see if we get it. Interdimensional Web Watch. When this artifact enters, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. You tap, you add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this only to cast spells from exile. Terrific Team Up we've seen. Spell costs 2 less if you control a permanent with mana value 4 or greater. 1 or 2 target creatures you control each get +1/+0 until end of turn. They each deal damage equal to their power to target creature and opponent controls. More fighting mechanics. I love this. Alien Symbiosis. Looks like Eddie Brock getting taken over by Venom again. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Has menace and is a symbiote in addition to its other types. And you may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying this other cost. So that's not too bad. We got Silver Sable. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Whenever it attacks, target modified creature you control gains lifelink until end of turn. This works probably exceptionally well in a cloud deck. If you're running mono white cloud, that's rough for your opponents at least. Flash, whenever this creature attacks, it connives. We've seen Taxi Driver. We've seen Venom. We haven't seen this version of Doc Ock. As long as there are 8 or more cards in your graveyard, Doc Ock has base power and toughness 8/8. As long as you control another villain, it has hexproof. That's not bad. Further going with the Doc Ock theme. Lurking Lizards, Trample for 1 colorless, 1 green. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. Selfless Police Canna and Professional Wrestler again. Okay, next pack. Treasure, Human Citizen again, whoop-de-doo. Ooh, Fancy Swamp. We love that. We love that. Passenger Fairy we've seen. Psionic Weaver. Web Slinging for 1. When it enters, look at an opponent's hand, then choose a card type other than creature. Spells of the chosen type cost 1 more to cast. Okay, so white control kind of thing. Another Secret Identity that I want to get signed from RK. Supportive Parents, one of the better ones that people have called out. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Add 1 mana of any color. Good mana dork. Scorpion, I don't think we've seen him yet. Just Death Touch at the beginning of your instep. If a creature died this turn, target creature you control connives. We've seen Sun Spider. Angry Rabble, one colorless, one red. It has Trample. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And if you pay 5 generic and 1 red, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, not bad. Venomized Cat. Symbiote Cat Villain. There are more cats in this deck. I am happy. Or in this set, not this deck, but there are more cats in this set. I'm happy. Death Touch. Whenever this creature enters, mill 2 cards. Unstable Experiment we've seen. We've seen the Web Slinger. We've seen Kapow. We've seen Mod Lookout. And we've seen Thwip. Oh, we got a robot card this time. I think we've got one of those. Oh, and the food token. All right. Glizzies, baby. Glizzies. Gotta love it. Ominous Asylum. We finally got our black-red for this one. We have another Urban Retreat. We have the Cheering Crowd, which is an interesting one for Commander because you're giving your opponents mana, but you're getting a buff creature instead kind of piece. So it's an interesting kind of way to play it. It says at the beginning of each player's first main phase, that player may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. If they do, they add 1 colorless mana for each counter on it. So as it scales, it gets bigger, and it works more, hopefully, to your advantage. Heroes Hangout, Date Night or Patrol Night. Date Night is exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them until end of next turn. You may play that card for free. Patrol Night, 1 or 2 target creatures each get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn. Living Brain Mechanical Marvel. It's another robot villain. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-equipment artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn. Untap it. This would be interesting in the Dr. Eggman deck. Thoughts? Not that I'm going to go back and maybe edit that deck, but just thoughts. Costume Closet. This artifact enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When you tap it, you move a +1/+1 counter from this artifact onto target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. And whenever a modified creature you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this artifact. Interesting. It's like a slower Ozolith, which you could run with this in there too. Hot Dog Cart, hence the Glizzy food token. When this artifact enters, you create a food token, and you add 1 mana of any color. Not too bad. We've seen Spider Islanders. Merciless Enforcers have lifelink. 3 generic, 1 black. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whoosh is an instant with a kicker for 1 generic, 1 blue, and then a 1 generic, 1 blue casting cost. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If this spell was kicked, you draw a card. We've seen Scout the City. We've seen Vibrant Landscape. We've seen Pumpkin Bombardment. And we've seen Starling. It's our token again. A Plains. Agent Venom. This is new for us. Flash Menace. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So note this. This is our foil card. Let's see if we get it again later on. Strength of Will. We've gotten 2 rares. Okay. Until end of turn, target creature you control gains indestructible, and whenever this creature is dealt damage, you put that many +1/+1 counters on it. This again is begging to go into my Wolverine deck. Maybe I will post a deck tech video about that. Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed. It's a human villain. Legendary artifact creature for 2 colorless mana. Whenever Spider Slayer deals damage to a spider, destroy that creature. And if you pay 6, you exile this card from your graveyard. You create 2 tapped 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature tokens with flying. It's Morbin time. Morbius, the Living Vampire. 2 generic, 1 blue, 1 black, flying, vigilance, and lifelink. And if you pay a blue and a black, you can exile this card from your graveyard. You look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. So, not bad. Not the greatest one, but not bad. Sudden Strike, you destroy target attacking or blocking creature. Spider Bot is Robot Spider Scout. It's got Reach for 2 generic mana. And when this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and then shuffle when you put that card on top. There are better mana stuff, but not too bad. Steel Wrecking Ball. It came in like a wrecking ball. Whenever this artifact enters, it deals 5 damage to target creature, and then you destroy the card, you destroy target artifact. So not bad. Risky Research, you surveil 2, then draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Not too bad. We've seen Passenger Ferry, we've seen Mass Meower, we've seen Electro's Bolt. City Pigeon, one of the strongest cards in the entire set. Don't take my word for it. Go watch other videos, they'll say the same thing. It's true. It's got flying, and whenever the creature leaves the battlefield, you create a food token. And you grow extra arms. Okay. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a spider. The target creature gets +4 or +4 until end of turn. Okay. Not bad. So treasure token again. Okay, University Campus. Daily Bugle Reporters, we've seen Cosmic Spider-Man. Okay, we got our Mythic. Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, and Haste for 5. It's Wooburg. At the beginning of combat in your turn, other spiders you control gain Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, Haste, and Haste until end of turn. This, if you wanted to run a Wooburg Spider deck, this is probably the one to do it. Or if you're going to run a Spider-Man deck, period, this is probably the one to use. So, Friendly Neighborhood. Enchant land. When this aura enters, create 3/1/1 green and white citizen human citizen creature tokens. An enchanted land has pay 1 and tap. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Superior Foes of Spider-Man. I don't think we've seen this one yet. Trample. Whenever you cast a spell with mana for value 4 or greater, you may exile the top card of your library. If you do, you may play that card until you exile another card with this creature. Oh. That's actually not bad. We've seen Prowler. Pictures of Spider-Man is new. It's an artifact. It's a green artifact, technically. When this artifact enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards from among them and put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then you can sacrifice this and create a treasure token. We've seen Bagels, we've seen Comic Cook, we've seen Acrobatics, Angry, we've seen News That, we've seen Spider Manifestation, and we've seen Web Up. So now we're starting to really get to the doubles. Oh, we have a human villain, illusion villain token. Maybe we're going to get Mysterio. Got that. We got Shriek again. Oh, we got Origins of Spider-Man. We got one of the fancy ones. You create a 2/2/1 green spider creature token with reach on step 2. This is a saga. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It becomes a legendary spider hero in addition to its other types. And at the third, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. That's really fun. This is a good looking card. This is kind of the things that I like about this. We got Penny again. Oh, Tombstone. We haven't seen him yet. When he enters, return target villain card from your graveyard to your hand. Villain spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Not bad. Could work with Doc Ock. Molten Man. When Molten Man enters, search your library for a basic mountain card. Put it in the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Molten Man gets +1/+1 for each mountain you control. When Molten Man leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a land. I was good until that last part, but okay. Eerie Gravestone we've seen. Doc Ock we've seen. Shock we've seen. We've seen 15 million Shocks. Inner Demon Gangsters we've seen. Guy in the Chair. Another mana dork. Add 1 mana of any color with web support. Get it? Web, World Wide Web, yeah. Two generic, one green. You tap it, you put a +1/+1 counter on target spider. Activate only as a sorcery. So, Spectacular Tactics is a modal card. You choose one, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature until you control. It gains hexproof, or you destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Subway Train. When this vehicle enters, you may pay that. We've already seen. Wild Pack Squad are human mercenaries. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to one target creature gains first strike and vigilance till end of turn. Seeing more. We're seeing more. Oh, jeez. Our token. Savage Mansion. We haven't seen that. It's our green. We've seen Subway Train. We've seen, okay, Parker Luck. At the beginning of your end step, two target players each reveal the top card of their library. They each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. Then they each put the card they revealed into their hand. That's an interesting card. I like it because it's fun. Web Warriors, we've seen Green Goblin Revenant. We've seen School Days. We've seen Spider-Gwen, Spider Mutant Hero, or Spider Human Hero, sorry. Reach, whenever Spider-Gwen becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. This works with the other Green Goblin that I want to play as the commander. That's a hint to the Spider-Man deck build that I'll do. We've seen Swarm Bees, we've seen Romantic Rendezvous, Spider Rex, Scorpion Sting, Gallant Citizen, and Mob Lookout. Token, another Fancy Plains. We've seen Living Brain before. We've seen Morlon. This is the original of the Origin of Spider-Man. We've seen Heroic Horde, Heroes Hangout. Spider-Man UK, we haven't seen yet. Great to see it. Web Slinging for 2 and a white. At the beginning of your end step, if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your controller's turn, you draw a card and gain 2 life. We've seen Doc Ock's Henchins. We just saw Spider-Gwen. We've seen Swore Beast, Got the City, Spider Guy in the Chair, and the Web Slinger. This is the part where it starts to really speed up. Because we've seen it all before. Token. Got our Forest card. Spider Manifestation we've seen. Spider Sense. Web Slinging for 1. This is we have the other version of it right there that we got as a box topper. So that answers my question. Oh, we got another one of these though. Rite of Replication. That's cool. For 2 generic, 2 blue. It's got a kicker of 5, but you create a token that's a copy of target creature. If this spell was kicked, create 5 of those tokens instead. Not bad. Web Shooters we've seen, Tombstone we've seen, Daily Bugle Building we have not, though. You add 1 colorless mana, you pay 1 and tap, you add 1 mana of any color. And you can do Smear Campaign for pay 1 and tap. Target legendary creature gains menace until end of turn. You activate only as a sorcery. That's an okay land. Yeah. Mechanical Mobster, Merciless Enforcers, Doc Ock's Henchins, the Dinosaur Guy again, Craven's Cats, Wild Pack, and the Guy in the Chair. We've gotten the Mana Dork like 5 times already now. Get rid of our token. Fancy Swamp, love to see it. Skyward Spider, there we go. Black Cat, I don't think we've seen her yet. When Black Cat enters, look at the top 9 cards of your opponent's library, exile 2 of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. You may play the exiled cards for as long as they remain exiled. Mana of any type can be spent to cast spells this way. Really kind of fun. I like playing with other people's decks. Agent Venom is again Hobgoblin, Mantled Marauder. Whenever you discard a card, Hobgoblin gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Spider-Girl, Legacy Hero. When it leaves the battlefield, we create a green, white citizen. Oh, Madam Web. Terrible movie. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast spider spells and non-creature spells from the top of your library. Whenever you attack, you may mill a card. And she's very expensive for what it is. Spider-Man No More we've seen. Passenger Ferry, Wrecking Ball we've seen. Venom's Hunger we've seen. Subway Train we've seen. Daily Bugle, and Pumpkin Bombardment. How much longer we got? 22 minutes on that. Cool. We only have 19 minutes on the other things. We might have to stop it kind of early. I'm going to take a break. Alright. Fancy Forest. That's good. Venomized Cat we got. The Clone Saga. Surveil 3. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. That's kind of cool. Choose a card name whenever a creature with the chosen name deals combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card. Okay. Damage Control Crew, which is a human citizen. They have a modal, which is repair. Return target card with mana value 4 or greater from your graveyard to your hand. Or you impound, you exile target artifact or enchantment. Okay. Spider Suit. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and is a spider hero in addition to its other types. Equip 3. This actually kind of wants to go in my Captain America deck. Just because I want to dress Captain America up in a spider suit. No other real reason. The Spots Portal. Put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. You lose 2 life unless you control a villain. Hot Dog Cart we've seen. Venomized Cat we've seen Beetle. Taxi Driver. Venom's Hunger. Selfless Police Cannon. Scout the City. And Skyward Spider. Creature token. Ooh, Fancy Island again. Beautiful. Spider-Man India. Web slinging for 1, a green, and a white. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains flying. It's a fun one. Symbiote Spider-Man, also new here. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. Put 1 of them in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. So this is big on recursion. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains this card's other abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. Rocket-powered Goblin Glider. Pocket-powered, no. When this equipment enters, if it was cast from your graveyard, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, has flying and haste. You equip for 2, you have mayhem for 2. Shriek again. Ezekiel again. Aunt May. Whenever another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. If it's a spider, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. We've seen Spiderbot. We've seen Amazing Antics. We've seen Taxi Driver. Common Crook. Spectacular Tactics. Spider-Man Phases. And Thwip. 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 Token again. Our Forest. Heroes Hangout we've seen. Hey, there's Craven the Hunter. Trample. Whenever a creature an opponent controls with the greatest power among creatures... Whenever a creature an opponent controls with the greatest power among creatures that player controls dies, draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on Craven the Hunter. Okay, so it incentivizes you for going after other creatures than that. That makes sense. It's Morbin time again. Raging Goblinoids. Haste and Mayhem 2 with a red. Wall Crawl. This enchantment enters. Create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach. Then you gain 1 life for each spider you control. Spiders you control get +1/+1 and can't be blocked by creatures with Defender. Bagel. Whoosh. Masked. Meower. Enforcers. Beetle again. Vibrant Cityscape again. Web Up, and Professional Wrestler. We only have a few more packs left. And then we're going to open up our things. Island, Romantic Rendezvous, Silk, Web Slinging. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a thing. Yeah, whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 green and white human citizen creature token. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Now another Craven, Vigilance. It's got top of the food chain. Craven's power is equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. In a green red deck, I feel like that actually can go pretty hard. Flash Thompson. When Flash enters, choose one or both. You got Heckle. You can tap target creature, or you can untap target creature. And of course, Flash Thompson has Flash. We've seen Spider Slayer. We've seen that. We've seen that. Another City Pigeon, always good to have. Subway Train, and we get a lot of that one Spider-Man Web Slinger. That looks like it's going to be the card that I end up with the most. So. Okay, Sinister Hideout. Iron Spider Stark Art Upgrade. Vigilance. You tap it, you put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact, creature, and or vehicle you control. That's pretty big, not going to lie. You pay 2, you remove 2 +1/+1 counters from among artifacts you control, you draw a card. We've seen Electro already, we've seen Scorpion, we've seen Spider-Man India, Living Brain, Hot Dog Cart, Angry Rebel, Research. We've seen Shock again, Wild Pack Squad, Grow Extra Arms, and City Pigeon again. Okay. Last pack that we are opening from our bundle, or our Play Booster box. And we get a Mountain, we get a Foil Aunt May, we get a Jackal, Genius Geneticist, Trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Jackal's power, copy that spell, except the copy isn't legendary, then put a +1/+1 counter on Jackal. Interesting card, but really situational. Prowler, Superior Foes again, Web Warriors again, the Phantasm again, the Wrecking Ball again, the Gravestone again, the Passenger Ferry again, Electro's Bolt again, the Daily Beagle Reporters again, the Weird Spider-Man Dinosaur, and Thwip again. Alright. Let us open a collector booster pack. Here's where the real fun begins. Maybe. We'll see. Alright, well, we start off with the same human citizen token we've been getting, and a fancy treasure token on the one side. Alright. Oscorp Research. Okay, they're already pringling a little bit. You can kind of see it. They're already kind of pringling a little bit. This is the reason I don't like a lot of the collector booster stuff with the foils on them. Oscorp Research Team we've seen. Angry Rabble we've seen. Vibrant Cityscape we've seen. The Cat we've seen. University Campus we've seen. The Alien Symbiote we've seen. Prison Break, new card for us. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. You can do it for Mayhem. Not bad. Not a bad card. Kind of expensive. We got MJ. First time we've seen her. Vigilance. And whenever you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter on MJ. Very good if in a life game deck. Web Warriors with the alternate art. When this creature enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Not bad. The Fancy Mountain, which is always fun. With great power. Enchant creature you control. Enchanted creature you control gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. All damage that would be dealt to you is dealt to enchanted creature instead. Put it on an indestructible creature, and you're off to the races. Aranya, Hata Spider. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play this card this turn. Not bad. Not bad. We got Gwen Stacy. When Gwen Stacy enters, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control this creature. Then for 2 generic, 1 red, white, and blue, transform Gwen Stacy. You activate as a sorcery. And then we turn it over. And it's Ghost Spider with flying, vigilance, and haste. Whenever you play a land from exile or cast a spell from exile, you put a +1/+1 counter on Ghost Spider. And then you remove 2 of those counters, you exile the top card of your library, and you may play that card this turn. So it's an engine of itself kind of thing, yeah. Then we got Doc Ock, Armed and Dangerous. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 8. If you do, tap up to 8 target permanents. Those permanents don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Not bad. And then we've seen Strength of Will already. So, I love the art on some of these cards. Are they spectacular standouts so far? Not yet. We'll see how the rest of that goes. All right. Pack number 2. Whoosh. The Dinosaur Man again. Scorpion Sting again. Thwip again. Skyward Spider, I think again. Spider Mobile. Web Shooters again. Sudden Strike. Grendel, Spawn of Null. That's new for us. Flying and Death Touch for 3/3/4/4. So, not a bad card, just not the beefy kind of card you really want. Fancy Mountain. Lethal Protection. Destroy target creature. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Really great for Aristocrat decks if you want that. Lady Ock. The Inspired Inventor. Whenever you draw your first or second card each turn, put an Ingenuity counter on Lady Octopus. When you tap it, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the number of Ingenuity counters on Lady Octopus without paying its mana cost. Ooh, this in an Urza deck. That's rough. The Death of Gwen Stacy Saga. Stage 1 is destroy target creature. Stage 2 is each player may discard a card. Each player who doesn't loses 3 life. And Stage 3 is exile any number of target players' graveyards. That's rough, actually, I gotta say. That's actually pretty rough. Traumatize. Oh, this is what they use for Traumatize? Target player mills half their library rounded down. Traumatize plus Storm is a terrible combination. Shame on you. Spider Sense, which we now have all 3 versions of Spider Sense. And we have a beautiful art card that goes with it. So we have 3 versions of Spider Sense now between our box topper and the other 2. Shiny Glizzy token. Put that with our tokens. Okay, Lurking Lizards, which we've seen. Doc Ock's Henchman, we've seen. The Mechanical Mobster, we've seen. The Inner Demon Gangsters, we've seen. The Sinister Hideout. Costume Closet. Spider-Man, the Heroic Horde. Yep. Supportive Parents in foil. Heroes Hangout, we've seen. And we've only gotten mountains in our fancy lands in the foil for this. Sandman's, which we have not seen yet. But Sandman's Shifting Scoundrel. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Sandman can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And return this card and target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I feel like this plus Tifa. Peter Parker's Camera. This artifact enters with 3 film counters on it. You pay 2, you remove a film counter. You copy target activated ability. And you choose 2 targets for the copy. This is Doc Ock Evil Inventor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-creature artifact becomes an 8/8 robot villain. I think we've seen that one before. Unexpected Windfall. We've seen this one in so many other decks and stuff like that. So, Biogenetic Carapace, which is an equipment card. Whenever this equipment enters, attach it to target creature card you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card for each modified creature you control. You equip for 2. And that's it. That's what we got out of 3 packs of Collector's Edition. Some good cards, don't get me wrong, but this stack of 3 collector's cards is as much as one of these. think about that when you're making your purchases.
The next day.
So, was it worth it? Well, no. As much as I love opening packs and getting the little dopamine rush when you find something new and exciting, I can't say that this set is really doing it for me. And I say that as a gigantic Spider-Man and Marvel fan. I mean, my Wolverine and Captain America decks are infamous amongst my playgroup. What I think makes this experiment so lackluster for me is the lack of card depth within this set. And I don't mean the fact that we got City Pigeon as a creature card in here. I actually think cards like that work really well in Commander decks. But what made Universes Beyond sets like Final Fantasy feel so good was the breadth of new and returning cards that worked within a very strong creative direction. Spider-Man has been out since 1962, which means there's been a breadth of heroes, villains, timelines, you name it, that they could have pulled from to really flesh out the world, and included a lot of returning cards. Now I know I pulled Lorthos the Tidemaker, and that could go into my Illuge deck, but I still feel like I wanted more. But for opening 420 cards in a collector booster box and 45 additional cards from 3 collector's packs, I can say that the value just wasn't there. If I add up the value from all of the things I got from the collector's packs, right now on Card Kingdom that value gets up to just over $100. That's $50 less than what I paid in total for all 3 packs. Now, I understand that not every pack is going to be a banger, and that's why we sort of accept this as a form of gambling. But I think the value in total just isn't there. Not just in monetary, but in the feel of the set. And it's hard to support how much these packs cost. As I mentioned at the top of this episode, the collector booster packs that I bought ranged anywhere from $35 to $75 at my local game stores. And I checked 3 different ones. That's an insane markup for a set with only about 193 cards, little under 300 in total if you count the collector's editions as well. And if you think about it, the main chase card that everybody wants, the Soulstone, is available right now on Card Kingdom for less than that $75 collector booster pack. So the lesson here is if you're not playing Draft, it's better to buy the cards that you want off the secondary market from places like Card Kingdom or your local game stores. And that should worry Wizards of the Coast. Because if the secondary market is the best place for most consumers to get the cards that they need, you're going to eventually kill an entire revenue stream for WotC. And they need that revenue stream. They need the LGS support in doing draft tournaments, in selling packs. They need to continue to drive demand for the new products in the hobby as they welcome in more and more players with Universes Beyond. And don't get me wrong, Universes Beyond is an integral part of the growth of Magic for the future. The more families, the more younger folk they can get hooked in with these kinds of thematic decks and sets, the better they're going to be positioned for the future. I know a lot of us want more Magic in our Magic the Gathering game, and we'll probably get some of that in 2026 and beyond, but for the health of Magic, a 30-year game, they do have to kind of branch out and bring some of these licensing deals together. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that there's economic issues, especially in America. And if you want to continue to grow your product, you've got to rein in some of this ridiculous markup. At some point in time, there's a ceiling for how much you can charge for a product. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other deck building videos or any of my other commentary. Until next time, I've been Mallow, and you've been awesome.